All right, hey guys, we're back here. It's Mr. Dimitri again. This is video number 2 in the week of 5/11/5/17 AP World History Schoology overview page. So hopefully you watched the first video already. All right, so we got through everything for the week up until the final two things you guys are going to need to do in the first video. Basically, what you guys are going to do over the last part of the week is two things. You're going to be writing the full DBQ for the College Board released practice DBQ that they put out a couple weeks ago. And then you're also going to be reading a DBQ writing guide for beginners, kind of like a bunch of information about the DBQ, stuff we should know by now, but you're going to then do a discussion of what are, two questions that you still have about something, anything related to the AP exam or the DBQ that you guys are going to be writing. So let's take a look at the College Board DBQ. It's going to be, again, it's similar to the reactions to industrialization, one that you're doing the week, this current week going on, that's due on today, May 10th. In the sense that you're going to submit it as a quiz. It's not a quiz, but it's what I set it up as, just for my purposes of being able to review them. So here's what it's going to look like when you guys open it. So basically, here are the instructions. It is due on Sunday, May 17th by 11:59. It's going to be a full-length DBQ, and again, it's going to be the most similar to what you're going to see on May 24th, or May 21st. Now, the College Board created this, right, at the end of April, so it's a couple weeks old now at this point. And since it's their creation, it should give you a pretty good idea of what to expect as far as document length and the style of the prompt for the real exam on May 21st. We have no idea what the exam is going to be about, what the topic's going to be, what the prompt's going to be, when it's going to be from, what kind of documents. But this is a pretty good idea of what you may see. Now, the prompt for this particular DBQ asks you to basically evaluate the differences in indigenous peoples' responses to state expansion between 1750 and 1900. So breaking that down, you're looking at how did indigenous peoples, meaning native people, people originally from areas, how did they respond to various states expanding during the period of 1750 to 1900? So again, just like last week, even though I created it as a quiz and Schoology, I'm not going to be grading it that way. It's the exact same as you did this week. You're going to basically handwrite or type the actual essay. Once you have it completed, you're going to need to enter each part of it into a separate question on the quiz, meaning you're going to break it up and you're going to copy and paste or type in your contextualization as question number 1. Again, you'll see questions. There are 4 of them. So your contextualization statement, you'll put it in this area. Your thesis argument, your body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2 will be there. I'm actually going to change the settings on it right now because I had a few people who needed to submit theirs a second time. So let's change this one to 2 times in case some mistake happens or something like that. You'll be able to submit it, resubmit a new one if like something doesn't copy properly or something like that, or you get distracted for some reason. All right, so anyhow, so basically you're going to put in the 4 parts. The link to the actual prompt is here as well as in the main folder. I did include the rubric, just like I had you guys do last week. You will probably want to have that out on the day of the exam, so it's good to have it open here. So we take a look at the actual exam, or practice DBQ exam that the College Board released. This is what it's going to look like on exam day on May 21st. Let me zoom this out a bit so we can see more. Your first page is going to have basically the main things you need to do. And if you look closely at these bullets, it literally follows along with the rubric. It tells you what you need to do to earn points. So you kind of want to make sure you're doing all these things as you write. So here's your prompt. Evaluate the extent to which indigenous peoples' reactions to state expansion differed during the period 1750 to 1900. So you want to be thinking about, as you read these documents, okay, which people are we talking about? Number 1, document 1, the source is Pompey I, who's a leader of the Ashanti tribe. Okay, it's in West Africa. And this is his response to a British offer of protectorate status in 1891. Okay, and you want to think about, all right, so start looking at the documents in the time period 1750 to 1900. We're talking about state expansion. This is 1891. Document number 2 is 1894. Document number 3 is 1896. Document number 4 is 1898. Document number 5 is 1901. Now, there should be a huge red light going off in your head. Bing, bing, bing. What's happening in the world at this time? Why are states expanding? And that red light should be telling you, this is the time of European imperialism. This is what they call the age of imperialism, the scramble for Africa, the Asian imperialism we talked about. That is your contextualization. Okay? People are going to react in their native lands. Indigenous peoples are going to react in different ways. But why are they reacting? What is causing there to be state expansion? You're going to talk about the Industrial Revolution leading to a need for resources, and need for resources leading to seeking alternate lands where you can get raw materials and markets to sell them. So Europeans embark on this great expansion period called the Age of Imperialism. And that's going to lead to indigenous peoples having to react in different ways. and then you're going to tell me your thesis. Okay? So you're going to want to make sure you think about how are, each region, how did different people react? Did some react, with violence? Did some react by embracing it? Whatever it might be, and make up your 2 arguments based on these 5 documents. Okay? So keep in mind, you always want to, as you're beginning to look at your DBQs, whether it's this practice one or actually on May 21st, read the prompt, look at the documents, keep all these things in mind. This says, how did people react between 1750 and 1900? But we look, these documents literally are all from a, 1891, 1896, 1898. So they're all from a 10-year period. 1891 to 1902 is the literal time period of all 5 documents. So it's not like you're looking back at something from 1751, but they're talking about in that general period. So your contextualization, again, is going to deal with things from that period that kind of lead into this. Okay, so that's going to be the actual DBQ you write. When we go back here again, you'll put it in as a quiz. Okay, that's kind of your that's the most important thing for me this week is this assignment. Okay, the last thing you're going to do back in the main folder here is I've posted this DBQ writing guide for beginners. A lot of ways it's similar. I texted out a parent's guide. This is kind of similar in some ways. How to baby step your way to your first DBQ. And there's a bunch of links on here. The rubric, an explanation video. A lot of these are, there's different types of outlines of, how these are basically like document analysis outlines. There's different versions. You might want to take a look at one, see which one you like best, or, which option you might consider using if you want to. Okay. You already know how to write a thesis in context. So you're going to read all this over, right? It's basically it's basically an LEQ with documents. We did a lot of LEQs before school got out. Sourcing explain video. That's a Heimler video. Practice sourcing the 5 docs for this DBQ. This is a practice one. You're just doing sourcing if you want to. Okay. Again, you can continue, just read through this whole thing here. And again, this is basically a guide. If you had no idea how to write a DBQ, this would be what you would use to go through and learn how to write it on your own. So you want to read that over. And when you're done reading that over, you are going to go into the writing questions discussion here. And you are going to have to reply with your 2 questions. So after we've spent over 5 weeks preparing for this newly modified DBQ, take a few minutes and think about 2 questions you still have about the exam or things you need to be doing when you're writing a DBQ. And again, nothing is off limits here. This is a chance to post a few questions you have, and I'll do my best to reply to them as quickly as I can. And after you post, you'll be able to see all of your classmates' questions and my replies. So hopefully you'll clarify a lot of things you may have similar questions about. You'll be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like what happens if my phone, the power goes out during my exam or something like that, okay? This is a chance for you to see questions that other students in your class have and see, any answers I can provide for you will be posted to them, okay? So read through all the posts to help answer any random questions you have or may have forgotten about as well, okay? So that's it for the week. So again, you have 3 things to turn in. You'll be turning in the practice DBQ that you choose from the 9. You'll be doing the College Board DBQ, and you'll be responding to 2 discussion questions or 2 questions you still have as a discussion in Schoology, okay? Of course, as always, I'll be sending stuff out throughout the course of the week, I'm sure, with information that I receive as more stuff gets clarified or as I get extra resources or I find that I think might be helpful for you guys. But please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. We are scheduled to have a Schoology conference tomorrow, Monday morning, Monday, May 11th at 9 a.m. Not required. Again, we've had about somewhere around 10 or so students attending each week. The only thing I'm going to do with that is go through, basically the same stuff I am right now and give you an opportunity to ask any clarification questions if you want to. So if you want to attend that, great. If not, don't worry about it. Just make sure you send me questions throughout the week as you have them, okay? All right, you guys, hope you're all doing good. And, stay hanging in there. You got 10 more days or 11 more days till the exam. And really looking forward to seeing how you guys all do on it. And I'm sure you're looking forward to having it in the rearview mirror at this point as well. So, all right, you guys, take care. I'll hopefully see you all soon. Bye.